should not be taken literally, as is found in Matthew 5:38 to 39. You have heard, narinig nyo, ito na yung kalakaran ninyo, itong tradition ninyo, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. But I say to you, resist not evil. Oh my God. Ano yan, ha? Medyo mabigat. So this is now the principle of non-retaliation. This is the principle of non-retaliation. Narinig nyo, ito yung katuruan natin dati. Sabi niya, ito yung sa Old Testament yung sinasabi niya. Pero sabi niya ganyan, hindi yan taken literally, sabi niya ganyan. I say to you, in order for that not to be taken literally, resist evil. I do not resist. Resist not evil. Alam mo na, sa King James kasi yun You resist not evil. So, non-retaliation. Tapos ang sabi niya, hindi sinabi niya yung tatlo na offenses. Pagkatapos meron siyang solution. Sabi niya ganyan, whosoever smite thee on thy right cheek, turn to him the left also. Okay. So Jesus' teaching indicates that Christians should not seek any form of retribution, meaning to say, no evil, resist, no evil, against wrongdoers, physical or otherwise. But instead, sabi niya, turn your cheek, tinamaan ka dito, bigay mo pa yung kalawa. Okay. Ang hirap, ano? Kaya sabi niya ganyan, ito ay ineko ni Apostol Pablo. In Romans 12:19, sabi niya, Beloved, never avenge yourselves, but leave it to the wrath of God. For it is written, Vengeance is mine, I will repay. Praise the Lord. So, nireiterate niya yan, ano? So it is important for us to pay attention to both the negative and the positive commands of God as we respond to His grace and in the gospel. Paul says we should not repay or overcome evil with evil or avenge ourselves. Just because someone has wronged us does not give us the right to wrong them in return. It's never our right to wrong them in sabi niya, in return. On the other hand, sabi niya ngayon, we should do what is honorable. On the other hand, strive to live right. Sabi niya, strive to live at peace with others and serve and provide for the needs of our enemies in order that evil might be overcome with good. Yun ang retaliation mo. Instead of doing them harm, you do them good. Sabi niya ganyan. Kaya ito na nga, yung issue. Ito itong madalas mong gawin I-issue ko yun Yung sabi niya ganyan na, pag ginawa mo gano'n, parang binubuhusan mo sila ng live coal, burning coal sa kanilang head. Parang contradictory, di ba? It is contradictory. Pero ano ba talagang ibig sabihin in the context of their culture? What did it mean for them to have that? Now, in Palestine, ang kanilang mga bahay po alam niya na, bato. Wala pong mga bato yan, kung hindi man simento, pero ngayon, bato yan talaga sa kanila noong panahon na yun. Pinagpatong-patong na bato, parang nakaporma ng bahay na parang matchbox na merong hagdan sa gilid, meron silang parapet sa taas, na kung saan nagbibilad sila doon ng kung ano-ano, o kaya sa gabi, pagka mainit, doon sila nag-uusap, hindi sa baba, hindi sa bahay. Ngayon, ang kanila pong ang kanilang ginagamit may furnace sila. Meron silang furnace. Dito po sa Pilipinas, wala po tayong furnace. Sa Amerika, meron kasi.
Malamig.
Kasi malamig. So, malamig din sa kanila. And what is very important, inside the home, inside the household, the physical household, good morning, inside the physical structure is what? It should be warm. It should be warm. Yun nakalaban ng lamig, di ba? Kailangan warm siya. Now, how can a person warm yung kapitbahay mo, meron siyang warm, meron siyang alive kasi buhay na buhay kasi meron siyang apoy. Ayan yung neighbor mo na yan, itong wala na, walang ano sa bahay, walang warm. Kaaway ng neighbor na ito. Ay ngayon, itong kaaway na ito, pumunta sa neighbor.
Siyempre nang ginawa na.
Oo. So how will this person be kind to this evil one who is doing him wrong? Dahil sabi nga, utos nga ng Panginoon, gawan mo ng maganda yung mga tao na, so, magpo-force na yun ng coal. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Okay.
So,
Sila
hindi
po,
pala
sir.
kailangan. Baka inisip mo una pag binasa mo yan, parang susunog yung ulo.
Susunog mo, susunugin ang ulo, di ba? Pag binasa mo talaga yun, in that context, yun ang magiging kaisipan mo. But that is not, culturally speaking, that is not what it meant. Itong kaaway na ito, pupunta siya doon. Makikihingi po ako ng tuling. Ayun, nagbabagang, ano na, no? Wala kasi akong ganito. So, this good neighbor is going to give him. At ang gagawin niya, may lalagyan po sila. May vessel sila. Nayari sa clay. Yung parang pot na clay, gano'n. Doon nila ilalagay yun. At dahil mainit, susunungin. Di ba meron tayong yung ginaganyan na tela? Ilalagay mo dito, kasi hindi mo mahawakan eh. Susunungin. Yun po ibig sabihin nun. Yung 4 living coal on the head. So that when this person goes to his home, now he has a starter. May starter na siya. Meron na siyang burning coal, lalagyan niya na ng kahoy. Parang sa ganun maging warm ang kanilang bahay.
So, wala pang posporo noon.
Walang posporo.
Pangsindi nila
Pakis-kis.
yung friction
Wala
oil.
na friction
Ayun.
oil yan. Wala pa naman ganyan ano, di ba?
Mahalaga yung init pala.
Ngayon, nire-remote, yung ano.
Wala pang lighter, wala pa yung mga walang ganun.
Kinikis-kis na.
Oo, kinikis-kis lang yun. So, kailangan po. So, that is doing good. Yun po ang gusto niya sabihin. So, that is the cultural practice. You have your prince? Oh, okay. Si Prince is nag-aaral sa Bible School. Okay. So, yun po ang gusto niya sabihin. Sabi niya, so hindi tayo hindi na ano natin yun. No, merong mga iba nagtatanong. Ano bang context nun? Anong ibig sabihin nun? Pag ginanon mo, overcome mo with gold, give them the burning coal on his head, like that. Ano bang ibig sabihin yun? Pag nilagyan mo daw dito ng coal, kasi nga marami, parang itong interpretation pa ng iba. They increase the enemy's guilt and therefore their eternal punishment. Eternal punishment. So, increase yung guilt. Oh, gano'n ako
Sweet revenge.
Parang gano'n. Pangalawa is, cause our enemy to feel shame and guilt for their actions. Oo, siyempre naman, ang ganito ako, tapos ang bait-bait niya. Or the third is win them over to Christ. Which is the possible answer for that? Yung winning them for Christ. Because that is the testimony for the Lord Jesus Christ, you doing good to your enemy. Not necessarily increasing the guilt, not necessarily causing the enemy to feel shame or guilt. No, it's more of winning. They makita nila that Christ, you are living in the same way that Christ did. He did not retaliate. Kaya lang, ito pong maganda. So pupuntahan na po natin yung sinampal siya na gano'n, ano? Yung eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. At maganda po dito. Tingnan muna natin doon. Anong ibig sabihin ng cheek slapping during the time of Jesus? Historical na naman tayo. History na naman tayo. In Jesus' day, hitting the person on a cheek was a forceful assault. Assault na yan sa kanila. But it was not considered a violent assault. Okay? Here Jesus is specifying a strike on the right cheek, which implies that when the person slapped him on the right, ang ginamit ito, backhand. Ito, right eh. Right. Diba? O, hindi naman sa left. Doon, hindi right ang striking mo. Okay.
Hindi ganito, tre.
Tapos sabi niya, here Jesus Christ is specifying a strike on the right cheek, which implies that a backhanded slap was done. Striking someone with demand a doubted fine. May fine yan. Because it was the severest public affront to a person's dignity. It is an affront to a person's dignity. Kaliwa eh. Hindi background ang ginamit mo. Para sinasabi mo na you are kaya mo in-strike yan kasi itong taong to below you. Siya isang taong mababang status sa buhay. Na ikaw ay ganito ka lang, ganito. Hindi tayo pantay ng status. Ako to. Medyo, yung ganong nagpapakita kung sino siya. Arrogante dahil sa siya ay may kayamanan, siya ay wealthy, and so on and so forth. So you, the two persons, are not equal. Pag ginamit mo yung kanan, ito, which the offender will not use, basically, because the right hand is a symbol of equality. Pareho lang tayo sa standard. So, you are a person, pareho kayo ng standard, tatamaan mo siya ng kanan, talagang tapos ka sa community mo. Nakita niyo yan? So, he will never use it. Kaya ang hamon ni Jesus Christ in retaliation, this is a creative means of retaliation. Creative. Hindi niya sinabi. Pero in their society, in their culture, if you are slapped with the right hand, you are equal with the person you are slapping. And in the eyes of the community, you can never strike unequal. Kita po niya yan. Sabi niya, sige, sinampal ka sa kaliwa, ibigay mo yung kanan. Tama ba? Sinampal ka sa kanan, bigay mo yung kaliwa. Using the
Itong kabila yung ginamit ko.
Diba? Hindi naman pwede. Ganyan. Di ba? Hindi ko Jeng, hindi naman gano'n. Napapangit. Because talaga na. Sa kanila, sa kultura nila, if you are slapped with this, the first slapping unequal. O ka-level mo na hindi mo dapat gawin. Never. Yun ang hamon ni Jesus. Sige, sinampal ka ng kanan, bigay mo yung kaliwa. Ay, kanan. Tama nga ba? Kaliwa. Sinampal ka sa kanan, bigay mo yung kaliwa. Yun ang retaliation niya. So he was challenging. Sabi niya, i-challenge mo yung ginawa sa'yo.
Ang assumption nun, isang kabay lang ginamit ko. Kasi yung
Isa lang naman eh. Isa lang talaga kasi usual lang ginagamit eh. Right hand eh.
so yung kaliwa hindi
Hindi ito basically hindi ito ginagamit. Many people are using right hand. So yun ang context. That is the context. And Jesus Christ, okay, Jesus Christ is showing a resistance. He was showing a resistance to the evil that was done. Okay, niya. So sabi niya, Jesus suggested to his followers that they should not stand around and take abuse. Hindi sinabi forcefully na gumanti ka, hindi. But he was saying, stand up for your dignity as a person. Do not allow anybody to trample you down. Yun ang essence nun. Sabi mo, pag yun, talaga naman ikaw talaga. Okay. Second,
Pag sinampal ka, kaliwa din.
hindi mo siya sisampalin. Siya pa rin, ipasampal mo yung kabila. Kung sinampal ka sa kanan, ipasampal mo. Sige, kahit man kaliwa. And then, ikaw ngayon, ang mahuhukuman ng community mo.
pero kung kaliwang kamay ang ginamit niya. Wala pa niya, absurdo.
Nung panahon ni Jesus yun.
Kasi yun.
Pero ngayon, ganti yan.
Ngayon, nakakatakot na kaya.
Hindi nga kaya po sinasabi natin eh. We are trying to straighten up our wrong concept of an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. And here Jesus Christ did not say that you are going to just stand around and then take the abuse. No, He's challenging this practice, which is very common in the community. Especially kung isang tao ay talagang mababang status ng buhay. He was really showing that. Ito pa. Sabi niya, if it challenges the aggressor to repeat the same offense while requiring that they not strike with the palm of their hand, something that not to a lesser but to an equal. In other words, turning the other cheek is strongly declares the accuser holds no power for condescending shame because the victim's honor is not dependent on human approval. It comes from somewhere else, from the Lord himself. So this kind of action reshapes the relationship, pushing the adversary, yung nananakit, to either back down or to treat them, the person they hurt, as an equal. Nakita niyo yun, no? Ang ganda ng explanation. Sabi ko, ganito pala yung Panginoon. Sabi ko nung pinag-aralan ko, ganito yan pala yung hindi sabihin. So, what did this slapping on the cheek symbolize in Jesus' grace day? Nako, wala. Yung sinabi ko na sa inyo, yung black and white. Okay. First turning, blah blah, and so forth. Tapos, punta tayo doon sa sinasabi niya. Kasi ito mga explanation niya, no? Now, giving your coat to a greedy person, if somebody else brings you to court, ano po yan? Oh, masarap. Ma'am, halika na nga, Dusty. Halika na. Okay. Sabi na yan. Ito na, maganda pa. Giving your coat to a greedy person. Another example that Jesus Christ gave is this. Yung sabi niya, another of what it looks like to not resist in kind and evildoer. Jesus said, if anyone wants to sue you and take your shirt, let him have his coat also. Bigay mo yung coat mo. He's teaching people to resist harmful greed with creative generosity. Okay. Creative generosity ang kanyang answer doon. Sabi niya ganyan. In case, sabi niya, a greedy person crushes a poor person with an unjust lawsuit and demands their inner garment as collateral, ang Hebrew law allows this, so that the person, sabi niya, yung outer garment niya ay nandiyan pa rin sa kanya. Pero if you get it, yung coat mo na yan as a collateral, sabi niya ganyan, parang ibibigay mo din yan before sundown. Bakit? Kailangan niya yan sa gabi. Now, ito na. To voluntarily give up the coat would be exceedingly generous in the eyes of the law and in the eyes of the community. Shirt lang ang dinidemand eh. Pero binigay mo pa rin. Siya mismo nagpusa. Pati coat ko, kunin mo na. Now, okay, ito na po. Even more, some interpreters understand Jesus' instruction to mean that the one who gives both her shirt and coat would become completely disrobed, which is an intolerable dishonor in Palestinian Jewish society. Okay. Hindi nyo talaga, that is dishonorable na yan sa ibang tao. Whether or not Jesus implies that they should appear naked, someone who gives up their coat and shirt is likely giving up their main defense against cold and some level of social status. Because nakedness ay hindi maganda sa Jewish society. They are in extremely vulnerable position. Why? Kasi yun, wala siyang lack of clothes sa gabi. Sabi niya ganyan, ipapakita mo na dinidishonor mo ang isang tao sa community because of your greediness. Okay. Tapos sabi niya, yung act na yun ng tao, na kinunan niya ng shirt, binigay pa niya yung coat, that person's radical generosity, radical, kasi hindi common gawin yan. So in Jesus' way, would present a striking contrast against the opponent or the neighbor's tight-twisted justice. Sabi nila, hindi pa sinasabi ng Panginoon, do not just stand and then accept, tolerate the abuse. No. Strike back, but not in a harmful way, violent way, but in some way which will maintain your dignity. Particularly in the eyes of the Lord, because the Lord created us as dignified people. May dignity po tayo eh. Sabi nga po, very good nga po nung na-create si Adam and Eve. Hindi po ba? Okay, naintindihan na natin yan. Ano sabi niya? Balik mo. Okay, bigyan mo sa coat mo. that is against a resistance to the evil that was common in the community.
Ang parang yung story niya, yung anak niya, yung Pastor Tansi na na-rape.
Ano ba?
Anak ng Pastor Tansi, di ba na-rape?
Ano yun, yung nirate ng ito?
Sa na-rape
Kasi
niya.
siya,
Tapos, hindi siya nag-rebel.
Hindi siya
Ayan,
nag-ano.
ayan. Nirate ng
pinatawad.
nirate ng ito.
Yung Kapitan
Nirate ng
Kanchi,
tito.
Kapitan Kanchi.
Oo.
Opo, yung anak niya yun.
Ayan.
Tapos,
Alam natin.
hindi siya nagkaso.
Oo.
Sinasuggest niya,
Ayan.
even lahat.
Pinatawad.
Tawad niya talaga.
Binanggad na nag-judge doon. Di ba nawala rin lahat? Yeah.
Di ko alam kung nangyari sa itong
Nawala din. Ang kwento binasa ko ng kwento ng...
kinatay.
No. Natural death.
Anak sila yan. Namatay sa ito.
Yung
Pero yun, kasakit, nabundo, whatever.
Sa sakit, you know.
Parang
So,
ganun.
hindi gawa ng tao yun.
Hindi. It's God's.
Yan.
Right.
Okay, now, the final example is going the extra mile for the oppressor. Ito yung oppress ka na. Okay. During that time, okay, ito na. In the first century world, Roman soldiers ito, Roman soldiers, or shall we say, conquerors, oppressors, could force someone to carry loads for them for a Roman mile, or 1,000 paces. Isang libong hakbang. Baka 1,000 hakbang ka. Pero sabi niya, the Lord Jesus Christ said, walk the second mile. Okay. So the practice kasi of 1 mile, the practice reduce a person to an object, a forced laborer caught under the thumb of imperial power. Oppressor eh. Ngayon, Jesus Christ is giving the instruction, walk the second mile. Sige pa, hindi lang 1,000 paces, gawin mo ng 2,000 paces. Okay, now, Jesus is speaking to a beleaguered group of Jews who have suffered under centuries of foreign occupation. Having experienced degradation, harassment, and oppression by the Roman overlord, they would withstand that Jesus' call to not just submit but to give of oneself beyond what is asked. Hindi nila mag-grasp yung sinasabi ng Panginoon sa kanila. Sige pa, carrying a soldier's load for an additional mile shifts the terms of the interaction rather than passively accepting. Ito yung kapalit ng gagawin ng Israelita na magkikerry ng burden. Rather than passively accepting the demeaning treatment, people following Jesus' instruction creatively resist oppression and again assert their dignity by willfully choosing to go that second mile. They are treating the Roman soldier with generosity again, as one might treat friends or family. Papahingayin mo, shame mo yung tao na yun. They are treating you that way, but you, by your voluntarily going the second mile, what? Enforces your concept, your self-concept of dignity.